from where you at. I came here for vengeance, watch your back. No need to defend, I'm on attack. Sorry they can't reply, but I guarantee they had a blast. Pop, 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 I be on the next to only, yeah, I am fresh to death.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Long Haul Mentality. I'm your host, as always, Nick Bagley, and this week it is just me. It was the holidays. I took some time off. I had a hard time planning those last couple of weeks to prepare ahead of time. I was trying to get a number recorded before everything got hectic, and I did just not enough. So here I am by myself today, and this podcast, it's not going to be a long one. It's just going to be kind of me chatting with you guys, but I really just want to extend my gratitude and appreciation for the support. You know, I've said this to a number of my close friends that podcasting is the first thing that I've been really excited and hyped up about besides bodybuilding and coaching in a long time. Most of my life has been the thing that got me excited was the lifting and the dieting and changing my physique and stuff. And when that transitioned into coaching, it was exciting, and it's still exciting, and I still love it. But that's all I had, you know, and now just getting to do the podcast, it just really lights that fire under me more. It's a lot of fun getting to sit down and just talk with people. And as much as I know that I can eventually monetize and make money from views on YouTube and that sort of thing, I'm not doing it for the views. I've certainly brought on some people that I've made friends with over the years that have a big following, and that certainly helps, and it moves the needle as far as views are concerned. And I like getting those big guests on because it is nice to be able to pick their brain and kind of hear what they think about whatever topic it is that we're talking about. But you also notice that a lot of the people that I invite on are just my friends, people that I stand behind as far as I know that they're a good athlete, I like their mindset, or I know that they're a good coach. You know, I want to highlight the good people in this industry, because the unfortunate reality of the landscape of bodybuilding right now is everybody's at each other's throats, man. I feel honestly extremely bad for someone like Derek, who all he wanted to do was show up and win his title back. That's all he cared about. And now the only thing we hear about on the internet is about how he used PMMA and that he's not as good as everybody else, and he only got it because the depth wasn't there, and this, that, and the other. And it's come on, guys. Imagine doing any show and everything you see on the internet after is, that guy sucks, he shouldn't have won, this, that, and the other. What do you mean? I look great. It's that's got to be such a shitty feeling. And it feels like there's just a lot of negativity right now in bodybuilding, and I want to shy away from that as much as possible with this. So I understand that I'm not going to be the biggest podcast in the world. If I'm not rage baiting people and doing all that stuff, we will certainly touch on topics that's going to piss some people off for sure. But it is not my intent to get on here and piss people off and try to hook you into something. I just want to put out good information, because the thing that I have noticed in the coaching landscape here recently is 9 out of 10 of the people that I've spoken to in the last couple of months that have either inquired about coaching or signed up with me for coaching, they've all said the same thing of, I just didn't feel heard or didn't feel connected to my coach, and their communication was not good, and it took them a week to get back to me, and it didn't feel like they cared about me, and it felt like they were just giving me what they give everyone. I've heard that from literally 9 out of 10 people that would apply with me, and it's frustrating to hear, because that is everything with my business. That is absolutely everything that I do. So I want to give back. I want to care about people. I want to make sure that you feel taken care of, and hopefully we can do some cool shit together. But that's what I want to do here with this podcast. I want to just give you information. I'm not here trying to get anything out of you. If clicking the subscribe button is is too difficult for you, or clicking the like on the video is too difficult for you, but you came and you watched, thank you. I appreciate you. You know, I don't care per se about the metrics. I understand that I can build this to a point where I could potentially have like a good income off of it. But I will never prioritize making money over putting out good information. So, yeah, that's what this podcast is going to continue to be about. And, you know, I think as I upload this video, this is going to be episode 49. 50, somewhere in that ballpark. So just a couple shy of one a week. I'm very proud of that because this is now the third time I've started up this podcast. I started it the first time in my apartment in 2020 during COVID. And I was just sitting on my couch in my little fucking studio apartment and just talking. And I had a couple of guests on, and I maybe did like 5-6 episodes, and I stopped. And then I started it back up after my son was born, and I did it for a period of time, and I maybe did like 10 to 12 of them. I was a little bit better that time, but now having done almost one a week for the past year is awesome, you know, and I'm very proud of myself for having committed to that for this last year. And, you know, I didn't set out with the intention of like, I'm going to record a podcast every single week, but I knew in order for me to gain any type of traction, I needed to be consistent. And I didn't want to start this thing back up and it just fizzle out in a couple of episodes again. Like, I really enjoy doing this, and it's put me in a lot of cool conversations with a lot of cool people. I've made a lot of connections with people that I didn't know before, and I've learned more about my friends than I have in a long time, you know. And the thing that sucks about being an adult and being a single dad and a business owner is like, I don't have time to just sit down and talk to all of my friends all the time about how are you doing, how are things going, where are you from, how'd you get into this, what do you love? Like, we just don't have time for that. You know what I mean? Like, I will talk with you if I get the chance to see you. I might text you if we're that close. But like, other than that, it's not like I'm sitting down with people on a regular basis and just having in-depth conversations with them, you know? So this has been one of the most fun ways to like get an hour of a person's time. And nobody's asked for a longer episode, so I appreciate that. I'm sure that there's a number of those episodes I felt like could have kept going for another hour, but I intentionally want to keep these short. One, because I want to appreciate my own time. Two, I want to appreciate the guest time and not take advantage of them, because like, how many of us really have like 3-4 hours where we can sit down and just do basically nothing but talk? You know what I mean? Like, every one of us has responsibilities that we should probably be getting to. And I don't want to be a burden on someone. Typically, someone can put away an hour. And if we need to do a 30 or 45-minute one, I will. But for the time being, I'm not going to go any longer than an hour. Maybe something special comes up and I want to go do a deep dive with somebody and they're telling me like, hey, let's go long on this, then fuck yeah, I'll do it. I'm not opposed to it. But for the most part, I'm going to keep that like hour time frame going forward. But you know, this year my goal is to do one podcast a week. I want to have 52 at the end of the year. It's written down on my whiteboard over here to the side that you guys can't see for a reason. You know, it's like those goals are mine and I'm going to keep them close by, but I'm not sharing them with everybody. You know, I keep those things close to the chest and I want to push, you know, that's for me, not for you guys. But I want to make sure that I put out one a week. So Tuesdays at noon is the time and the schedule that I will be adhering to. And honestly, like, if it comes like, the hardest part about doing the podcast is scheduling with people, you know, of like, there's a lot of people I would like to do interviews with, but it's hard because of timing. You know, it's like, I've got a number of people who I could do interviews with in the UK or wherever. But the time zones are too weird, you know, and like, I can't make certain things work with being a dad and having these extra things to do with my son and whatnot. So, and then other people just not going to work out, you know? So, even if I had to do some solo podcasts, I certainly will do that. And, you know, I want, to have you guys interact with that and have you guys ask questions, and I can do some Q&A podcasts and stuff. But I just want to continue to put out good information and highlight good people that I know and appreciate and that are smart, that aren't just trying to sell you something, and I think that because of the landscape of my job and the number of people who can just call themselves a coach and jump in and do this thing, and maybe just have some really good marketing skills and are really shitty coaches who don't know what they're actually doing and they're using AI or whatever. In the landscape of that, I want to be the lighthouse. I want to be the thing that stands out, that helps you get through the fog and helps you get safely to the other side of this trip. I want to be the one who, when there's certainly certain things coming down the pipeline of like, try this new thing or try this new diet or this new training protocol or this way of training or whatever, it's like, I want to be the voice of reason. One of my jokes with some of my athletes is like, I try to be logical. I try to make all of my decisions be logical. And the crazy thing about that is that that's not common anymore. It's like being logic based has gone away in lieu of barking scientific evidence at each other. It's that versus like, all right, maybe we should just use that study and be logical about it versus like making everything we do now fit this one study that came out. Yeah. So like I said, I just want to be the lighthouse in the fog of the coaching landscape and continue to put out solid information. The Classic Physique Radio is going to continue, and I'm really enjoying doing that as well. And it's been great. I've known Terrence for a while, but I didn't know Jarek at all before this. We have a lot of the same mutual friends, and his name has come up in conversations, and they've always been good things that have come up. But it's been really cool getting to know Jarek and getting to know Terrence better. It's like, again, I don't get to sit down and talk with people that long ever. So getting to speak with one of the best classic physique competitors that there is, an hour a week is fucking incredible. It's such an invaluable thing. And, this year, I had some people that I've run into at like shows that I'm at or at the Olympia or whatever. And they've come up and said like, hey, I watched the podcast. And I always have to say which one. And it's never this one. It's always Classic Physique Radio. But I just appreciate it, and it's a lot of fun, and I really appreciate you guys' feedback. And it's nice to hear that you guys enjoy the way I run a podcast. That's kind of cool. Everybody and their mother has a podcast these days, and some people just don't know how to hold a conversation. And I'm not saying that I am great at this. I'm not saying that I am the best ever to do this, but I've put a lot of effort into this, and as weird as it sounds, I've listened back to a lot of these things. Like I go through it. I do all the editing. I do all the clips. I do all that stuff myself, and that's for this podcast. That's for Classic Physique Radio. I do all of that stuff, which is probably why I'm not posting as much as I should, especially for Classic Physique Radio. But that's another conversation. But I through that process, I get to listen back to myself on a regular basis. And like, it's not because like I want to hear, oh, how did I sound? But it's like, how can I make my speech better? How can I make this come off where people want to listen to me talk? Because like that is kind of the whole goal, is for people to listen to me talk. And if I'm sitting here saying every 5 seconds, people are going to get annoyed. If I'm pausing too much or I'm interrupting or whatever it might be, it ruins the flow of the conversation and really messes with the listener experience. So I appreciate all of the feedback you guys have given. Please feel free to bring me more. Please feel free to give me as much information as you want. The YouTube landscape, as far as how people comment and the things that they say, is definitely much different than some of the other platforms that I've been on, and it's definitely the Wild West. But even the negative comments do help. Like certainly there are some people who are just being negative for the sake of being negative, but there's been a number of comments that have come up in previous years of like, Nick talks too much. Nick talks too much about himself. Nick speaks over his guests, this, that, and the other. And it's like, all right, well, yeah, that sucks to hear, but it's feedback. It's something I need to pay attention to. So if you see something that I'm doing poorly that you don't like, point it out. Let me know. If you just want to be a dick, you can be a dick too. That's fine. It is what it is. But, I just want to say that I just appreciate everyone, the fact that I've built the following on here that I have, and had the amount of people that I've had reach out about the podcast and whatnot is amazing. So I do really appreciate that, and going to continue to have a number of different guests on. And if you guys have people that you want to see come on and want to hear me talk to, please send me the ideas. And if you are connected to that individual, help me connect with them, because the scheduling and getting different people on is one of the harder parts of, like, who do people want to hear from? Who has information that I want to hear? Who has stuff that I want to learn about? And I can't always be paying attention to every single person. There's a million smart people out there. There's a million great athletes out there. And if I can interview every single one of them, I will, but I need to be connected to them. That's the number one thing there. But I think I've talked enough at this point. 15 minutes here. And again, like I said, I just wanted to extend my gratitude, tell you guys thank you, give you some insight into what I want to do next year and what I want to continue to do with this podcast. It is not going anywhere. I am going to continue to push this thing, and we'll see just how it continues to adapt and grow over the years. It was funny. One of my buddies actually posted a clip from a podcast that he and I did closer to 2 years ago. It was before I did all of this, like the painting, and I just had some pictures up on the wall behind me, and they were like kind of, I did it all myself, and I just would put one up, and then I'd line the rest of them up based off that one, and you could tell there was a bunch of holes in the wall where I was like, nope, can't put it there, move it just a little bit, nope, not like a bunch of spots where I just had to keep moving things. But I painted the room sometime earlier this year, and then changed up the background and stuff, and really, like, it was like, all right, if I'm going to do this, I have to commit to it. And I think that was the number one thing that, like, really helped move the needle for me, is like, I needed my own podcast studio. I'm getting used to this new angle. I'm playing around with this. I got a new stand, and this camera can now move. It was just on a tripod, so it's just like a fixed angle, but like I can grab this and move it around. And I'm trying to find the best angle that I can get to have, like, the setup look cool and the lighting look right, and microphone not be like right here in front of my face as I'm talking and whatnot, and trying to make it as nice as I can looking. Nice looking as I can. Good Lord. English was never my strong suit, but let me know if you guys like the new setup or not. But I've really, like I said, I've really enjoyed this, and this is the first thing besides coaching and bodybuilding that I've been really hyped up about and really enjoyed doing. So it is going to be continuing. This is the final episode of 2025. Again, I appreciate you guys. See you in 2026.